Good morning, students. In today's video, we are going to discuss about electrochemical cell. You had a little bit idea about electrochemical cell after class 11th. Now we will explore our knowledge for electrochemical cell. You can define this as a device which convert chemical energy into electrical energy. Now, a number of electrochemical cell you have used in day-to-day life. For example, it is the battery which we use in mobile. It is the cells, pencil cell, button cell, or the battery used in inverters and etc. They all are examples of electrochemical cell. They convert their chemical energy into electrical energy. The power of cells are different, and the power of cell can be denoted by a sign E naught cell, which is known as standard cell potential, or it is also known as EMF of cell, electromotive force of cell. Now, how can we define E naught cell? That is standard cell potential. It is potential difference between cathode and anode of a cell in standard condition. I repeat, it is the potential difference between cathode and anode of a cell. So you can write the formula as E naught cell equals to E naught cathode minus E naught anode. Now you have used this formula in class 11th, and we will again revise this, and then we will develop our knowledge with respect to this formula here in class 12th. I hope you remember standard means the temperature should be 298 Kelvin, the pressure must be 1 bar, and the most important is the concentration of electrolyte is 1 capital M. It means it is 1 mole per liter or 1 molar solution. So far E naught cell, that is standard cell potential, is potential of cathode minus potential of anode. Now this symbol, I have observed that this symbol scared students. I don't know why, but students are not very familiar with this symbol. So let's explore our knowledge about this particular symbol. This is not for cell, this is for a particular electrode. We know there are two elements, two electrodes in a cell. One is cathode and other is anode. So this symbol is used to represent separately for cathode as well as for anode. And this is pronounced as standard reduction potential. Because this reflects the reduction reaction, here positive charge metal, positive N charge metal convert into M. So this is for the reaction M plus N convert into M, which is a reduction reaction, and therefore this is known as standard reduction potential. This is also pronounced as standard electrode potential, because this is for a particular electrode only and it's not for cell. So it is standard electrode potential, or it is standard reduction potential. You can also say it is standard reduction electrode potential. Now 3-4 points with respect to E naught we should remember. First, try to be familiar with this symbol, because this helps us in many upcoming chapters also. So first point, whenever you see this E naught, so first use this particular property of E naught. E naught reflect the relative reactivity of elements. So the first point, what we will come to know after knowing the value of E naught, the answer should be, we will able to compare the reactivity of different elements. Now how can you compare the reactivity of elements? Here you can see the reactivity of metal, reducing power of metal, as well as displacement power of metal. These all are properties for metal. Reactivity of metal, reducing power of metal, displacement power of metal, they all are inversely proportional to standard reduction electrode potential. So in case you are given the value of E naught, you can compare the metals for their reactivity, for their reducing power, as well as for their displacement power. I hope you remember that in class 10th you have studied about metal reactivity series, in which you have arranged elements in as per their reactivity, and at that time you just memorize a sequence, but that sequence is given on the basis of the value of E naught. For example, you are given the E naught for three elements here. It is zinc, copper and silver. For zinc it is minus 0.76 volt, for copper it is plus 0.34 volt, and for silver it is plus 0.80 volt. As per this formula, reactivity inversely proportional to E naught. So on the basis of this data, you can say that this element is most reactive as its E naught is least. And we also know that out of these three, zinc is definitely more reactive. It has highest E naught out of these three, and therefore this is the least reactive element out of these three. And we already know that zinc is most reactive here, followed by copper and silver. So this order is derived from these particular numbers. So the very first point, remember, E naught always represent or reflect relative reactivity of elements, and for metals it is inversely proportional to E naught. Another point is it depends on sum of three different type of energies. Now we know that E naught and reactivity are inversely proportional to each other, but this number minus 0.76 or plus 0.34, the value of E naught depends on three type of energies. In fact, some of the three energies, one is ionization energy, sublimation energy and hydration energy. The sum of these three energy will decide the value of E naught, as well as you know that some of these three decide the reactivity of element. If you remember a question of class 11th, why lithium is strongest reductant, though its ionization energy is very high, but it is the strongest reductant, and the answer of this question was sum of these three energy is maximum negative for lithium. So the sum of these three energy determine reactivity, and the reactivity is related to E naught. It means the value of E naught depends on sum of these three energy. Next question, how can we determine these values? E naught for zinc is minus 0.76 or for copper is plus 0.34. How can we determine this? The answer is they are determined on behalf of standard hydrogen electrode, SHE. Standard hydrogen electrode is also known as reference electrode, because all these data are given on behalf of hydrogen electrode. By default only we have selected hydrogen as reference electrode. There is no particular reason, only by default we have selected hydrogen as reference electrode, and the potentials are given on the basis of hydrogen electrode itself. How can we determine this practically? We will discuss later on, but first look at here. So far we have discussed this symbol is for reduction, and therefore this is known as standard reduction potential. Now remember one thing, we can also express the same data in form of standard oxidation potential also. Here you can see M convert into M positive N. So this is oxidation reaction, and therefore the number with respect to this will consider as standard oxidation potential. Now we can express both of these two data, but by default we use only standard reduction potential for all type of calculations. Whether it is a numerical or it is a theoretical subjective question, we have to use only and only standard reduction potential for all type of calculations. Now suppose you are given standard oxidation potential. There is a twist in the question. To make a more step in the question, you are given standard oxidation potential, but we know that we have to use only reduction potential for calculation. So here we will convert the oxidation potential, given oxidation potential, into reduction potential before our question, before we attempt the question. And for this you just need to change the sign of this number. For example, here the oxidation potential of zinc is plus 0.76. It means the reduction potential of zinc will be minus 0.76 volt. If it is minus, then it will be plus, and if it is plus, here it is minus. So by change in the sign, we can change oxidation potential into reduction potential. Once again I repeat, you need to use only and only standard reduction potential for all type of calculation. Now fifth and very important point for us with respect to the questions which we have to attempt in this question. In a cell, as you know, there are two electrode, one is cathode and another is anode. You know the formula to calculate E naught cell, it is E naught cathode minus E naught anode. Now the challenge for you will be to identify which is cathode and which one is anode. So one very simple way to find out cathode and anode, the element or the electrode with higher potential, the electrode with higher potential will undergo reduction because they are reduction potential. So definitely the element with higher potential, higher reduction potential has more tendency for reduction, so it will reduce and therefore it will behave like cathode. Simple, the element with high potential will behave like cathode, and remember the reduction reaction takes place at cathode. Obviously the other element with low electrode potential, with low potential will behave like anode and it will involve oxidation reaction. Now here one example, how can we calculate standard electrode potential of an element with the help of SHE, standard hydrogen electrode. 2-3 points you have to remember for SHE. One, it is reference electrode. Second, its standard potential is taken as 0. So it will be not given in the question paper because you have to remember its standard potential is considered as 0. We have to calculate electrode potential of other elements with reference to hydrogen. So we cannot calculate the electrode potential of hydrogen itself. So a question is given here in zinc hydrogen cell. Now whatever I am reading here, this all is practically possible. So someone has already did practical for us and we are just doing the same theoretically now. So in zinc hydrogen cell, the EMF of cell is observed is electromotive force of cell observed is 0.76 volt. Now EMF of cell you can be determined with the help of voltmeter. Voltmeter tell us about cell potential, or which is also known as EMF of cell. If current volt and current flowing from standard hydrogen electrode to zinc electrode, this is the direction of flow of current, and the galvanometer help us to find out direction of flow of current. So in this question the current is flowing from hydrogen electrode to zinc electrode. We need to calculate standard electrode potential of zinc. You are also given zinc sulfate, its concentration is 1 m. HCl, this is electrolyte for hydrogen, its concentration is 1 m. And concentration of hydrogen, it is given as 1 bar. So all these conditions are for standard, and therefore the question says we need to calculate standard electrode potential of hydrogen. So with the help of voltmeter you can determine this value 0.76, that is E naught cell. Galvanometer tell us that the direction of flow of current is from hydrogen electrode to zinc electrode, and now we need to find out standard potential of hydrogen electrode. How can we determine this? Look at here on the next page. This is zinc electrode, this is SHE. Voltmeter tell us about 0.76 cell potential. Galvanometer tell us about direction of flow of current. This is as per question, it is from hydrogen to zinc electrode. This is direction of flow of current. Now the formula is E naught cell equal to E naught cathode minus E naught anode. E naught cell is 0.76. Out of this cathode and anode, one belong to hydrogen and one belong to zinc. So we know this number. Out of this two, one is hydrogen whose potential is 0. So we can calculate the potential of other element. Now which is cathode and which is anode here? To identify here, look at here the direction of flow of current. It is from hydrogen to zinc. This is the direction of flow of current. You know that electrons are moving in opposite direction. As compared to current, electrons are moving in opposite direction. This means here zinc lose electron and hydrogen gain electron. And if zinc lose electron, it means zinc oxidized, it behave like anode. Remember once again, oxidation always takes place at anode. So out of these two electrode, we have identified zinc as anode. Now replace this, we can write E naught equal to, this is hydrogen electrode and this is anode is zinc electrode. Potential, cell potential is given 0.76. Standard hydrogen electrode is 0, and now this is potential for zinc. When you solve, you can get the value minus 0.76 volt. So in this way you can determine the electrode potential of all the elements by connecting with each other, and hydrogen electrode is used as reference electrode. Now another point is Nernst equation. What is Nernst equation? We have discussed so far how can we get the value of E naught for an electrode as well as E naught for the cell. It means we have discussed only about standard conditions, standard cell potential as well as standard electrode potential. We have discussed about these two features so far. And standard means we know that the temperature is 298 and the pressure is 1 bar, and the third property, that is concentration of solution, is 1 mole per liter. Now suppose if concentrations are not standard, then in place of standard electrode potential we will say it is electrode potential, and similarly in place of standard cell potential we will say only it is as cell potential. So if the conditions are not standard, then how can we determine electrode potential and cell potential? This is explained, studied by scientist Nernst. He gave an equation that is known as Nernst equation. So I repeat, this is an equation which helps us to calculate cell potential and electrode potential when the conditions are not standard, and this is known as Nernst equation. You can define this as it is a mathematical equation which shows quantitative relation between electrode potential or cell potential and concentration of electrolyte. So mainly as per our syllabus, we have to find out cell potential and electrode potential at the concentration other than 1 mole per liter. Definitely the temperature may be changed, the pressure may be changed, but mainly as per our syllabus, we will determine at same temperature, that is 298, which is for standard condition, 298 Kelvin. But in our questions, the concentration will be changed. It means the molarity will be not 1 as well as the pressure will be not 1 bar. And here now we have to find out electrode potential followed by cell potential. Now as per Nernst equation, you can see here there is no sign for standard here. It is electrode potential equals to standard electrode potential minus 2.303 RT upon NF log concentration of metal upon concentration of metal ion. So this is as per Nernst equation. Derivation is not part of our syllabus, so our task start from this particular equation. This is in standard condition. You will be given in the question paper. R is 8.314. It is constant. As I told you, temperature always same constant for us as per our syllabus. It is 298 Kelvin. F is Faraday's constant. It is 96500 Coulomb. So if you carefully look out this number, this first number is constant, R is constant, T constant for us, F is constant. So only the variable is N. If you place the number here 8.314, 298 and 96500, when you solve, you will get this as constant. In place of this, you can directly start the question, the numerical, from 0.0591 upon n. The only n is variable, rest all are constant. So this is given in book, that's why I have also shared here, but you can directly start your numerical with this equation. Electrode potential equals to standard electrode potential minus 0.0591, which is constant, divided by n log concentration of metal upon concentration of metal ion. Now 3 more points we have to discuss here. One is n. Here n is, if you carefully look at the symbol, m plus n slash m. It means this is reactant and this is product. So n you can determine as it is number of electron gain, or if the reaction takes place in reverse direction, means suppose the electrode is anode, then the reaction takes place in reverse direction. So you can define n as number of electron lose or it is gain in balance equation. Remember, the reaction should be balanced at least for that particular half reaction, half cell. Say for example, zinc convert into zinc plus 2 and 2 electrons. So here the value of n is 2. So it is number of electron lose or gain in balanced chemical equation. Another point, square bracket means it is active mass. You know the active mass for solid and liquid, pure solid and pure liquid, the active mass is 1. You already studied in equilibrium 11th class. So active mass of pure solid, active mass of liquid is 1. Active mass of a gas, it is its pressure, which is generally given in bar. And active mass of aqueous solution, this is most important for us, it will be its molarity. Now m, its physical state is solid and therefore its active mass will be 1. But whenever you are given m plus n, it means ions is given, its physical state is aqueous and therefore its active mass will be its molarity. For example, you are given CuSO4 and its concentration is given as 0.01 m. This is the question given. So in place of m, you will write copper, divided by in place of metal ion, you will write copper plus 2. The active mass of copper will be definitely 1 as its physical state is solid, and the active mass of copper plus 2. We know that when copper sulfate dissociate, it gives copper plus sulfate. The ratio between copper sulfate and copper, you can see 1:1. So whatever the concentration of copper sulfate, finally it will be the same concentration of copper ion also. So here copper will be 1 and copper ion, it will be 0.01 as it is given for concentration of copper sulfate. Now similarly we can do for cell potential also. Cell potential can be given as standard cell potential minus 2.303 RT upon NF, the same constant here, log product upon reactant. So the only change, earlier it was for electrode potential and now this is for cell potential. N has same meaning, it is again the number of electrons lose or gain in balanced chemical equation. P for product and R for reactant. Once you place the values of R, T and F, you can once again change the formula as 0.0591 upon N log product upon reactant. To explore this formula, let's see here one numerical. Calculate cell potential of silver zinc cell. You are given standard electrode potential of zinc and silver, as well as you are given concentration of zinc sulfate and concentration of silver nitrate, which you can see here not 1, and therefore this is not standard condition, and it is reflected in question also. You need to calculate E cell and not E naught cell. If the question is E naught cell, then simply E naught cathode minus E naught anode. But if it is for E cell, then you have to use Nernst's equation. Now, I suggest use this following sequence to have the correct solution, correct answer of the question. The first step should be to calculate E naught cell. You can see in the formula, to calculate E cell, you have to find out E naught cell. E naught cell equal to E naught cathode minus E naught anode, and the cathode we have discussed earlier. How can we identify cathode? The element with high potential. The element with high potential will behave like cathode. So out of these two elements here, you can see the potential of silver is more, and therefore silver behave like cathode. So this is silver minus, this is for zinc, and E naught cell standard cell potential is 1.56. So this should be the very first step to find out E cell. First calculate E naught cell. This number we have already calculated. Second step, we should write a balance equation. Now this is very important. For balance reaction, we already identified that silver is cathode, and because silver is cathode, silver should undergo reduction reaction. So write the reduction reaction for silver. This is reduction reaction for silver. Obviously zinc will undergo oxidation, so this is oxidation reaction for zinc. Now remember here, this symbol help us in one more ways. Whenever you are given this symbol, out of this two, one will be reactant and other will be product. If this is reactant, then this will be product, and if this is product, then this will be reactant. Now which is reactant and which is product, it will depend on relative reactivity of element. As we have discussed here, in this reaction zinc behave like anode, and because zinc is anode here, zinc undergo oxidation. So for oxidation reaction you have to write Zn convert into Zn plus 2. In suppose some other reaction zinc behave like cathode, if potential of zinc is more as compared to other element, zinc behave like cathode, it will undergo reduction, then you will write Zn2 plus convert into zinc. So this is first half reaction, this is second half reaction. In order to balance this equation, you know we have to equalize electrons, and to equalize electron we have to multiply the second equation by 2 and then add this, you get this as balanced chemical equation. So as when we balance equation, we already have identified the value of n also. Here n is equals to 2. N is, if you remember, it is number of electron lose or gain in balance equation. So here you can see it is 2 electron, and after multiplying by 2 it also becomes 2. Now third step, use Nernst equation. We have to find out E cell. E naught cell is 1.56, 0.0591 upon 2, the value of n, log product upon reactant. Now these are product and here these are reactant. So it is product, the first product is silver, power 2. As you know, law of active mass, the stoichiometric coefficient always raised to the power. This is zinc plus 2 power 1 because stoichiometric coefficient is 1, divided by reactant, it is Zn. Here it is Zn, and Ag plus silver ion power 2. So Ag plus silver ion power 2. This is in solid state. Neutral metal is always in solid state. This is also in solid state. Therefore their active mass is 1. So you can cancel out them. And if you don't write them, then also it will not make any difference. You will not lose marks if you don't write this also. Now here it is zinc plus 2 divided by silver ion. In the question it is given the concentration of AgNO3 is 0.01, and when it dissociates it will give silver. The ratio between silver nitrate and silver should be 1:1. So whatever the concentration of AgNO3, the same will be concentration of Ag plus also. Similarly, whatever the concentration of zinc sulfate, the same will be concentration of zinc also. So place these concentrations here. It is Zn plus 2, which is 0.1, and this is 0.01 for silver ion. When you place here in this equation, now you get this is for zinc 0.1, this is for silver 0.01. As per the formula it is power 2, so you can see here power 2. Solve it and you will get answer. The unit will be volt. So in this way you can use Nernst equation. In next video you will I will show you how can you calculate cell potential for concentration cell, how can we represent cell, and concentration cell, work done by cell, equilibrium in cell reaction. So these are the leftover point and we will discuss in next class. Till that, goodbye.